Hey guys, and welcome back to the Pennies to Pounds podcast with your host Kia. And this is a podcast where we aim to dispel your myths, simplify difficult financial jargon, and rectify your own personal problems. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. And as always, we have an amazing guest with us today. Guest, who are you?
Devon, entrepreneur.
Just short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, Devon, entrepreneur.
Tell us about you, Devon. Who are you?
I'm just a young entrepreneur from London, and I just want to inspire people to chase their dreams. That is me.
That is you to a T.
That is me. I'm just a young entrepreneur, and I want to inspire people to chase their dreams.
I love that. So what I've been asking people now who come to the podcast is I love to talk about their childhood, right? In the sense of were you entrepreneurial when you were a child? Because I feel like there's a lot you can kind of see. You can see the traits from young. So how were you, growing up in school? What kind of person were you?
In school, my mum used to give me £10 a week. My dad used to give me a £5. I used to go to Poundland with 2 big bags and buy Jammy Dodgers, Fanta, Sprite, etc. And after lessons, I'll be in the hallway waiting for people, and I had the most sales in my year, just selling. So like entrepreneurial has been installed in me since like a young age.
But what gave you that? Because I was the same as you. I was selling at school, but what gave you that idea? I mean, for me, I know it was seeing the older girls, because I went to an all-girls school, seeing the older girls selling, and I was in year 7, they were in year 10, and I was like, when you actually do the mathematics on this one, they're making a lot of money. So I wanted to get in on it.
I just wanted Air Forces, I wanted night tracksuits.
You wanted things.
And I wanted stuff, and I didn't really want to ask my mum for it, so I had to find a way to get it myself.
And that's what you started doing?
I started doing that, because everyone needs a biscuit, everyone needs drink. My school, Jamie Oliver came and said, you know what, it's all organic. Everything has to be organic in your school, so no biscuits, no drinks. So I had the
So you did that, and did that continue for the whole of your secondary school?
It was on and off, because I didn't really know how to manage the money. So when I used to get it, Air Forces straight away. When I used to get a haircut straight away, so then you're back to £10, and you're trying to do it again, etc. So it goes back then £10, £50, then back to £10. So I didn't really know how to manage my money, but that was the first time I really got entrepreneurial. Then I moved to try to sell trainers, etc. Go to this place and back.
Okay, cool. So we've done the selling at school, right? Now you said you moved on to trainers. So when was this? College times?
No, in school still.
Oh, in school still?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 14, 15, yeah.
Wow. So how did you get into that? Because like I said, I was just selling at school. That's all I knew. I didn't think of anything more until 6th form, because that's when I was exposed to more. But you started doing this from 14, 15?
In 15, I used to go on the Chinese website, buy the trainers.
What?
Yeah, like 15, I used to go on the Chinese website, buy the trainers, and I used to just send it to the UK. And I was like year 10, year 11.
But how did you find out about that? Because I mean, I knew about it from my parents. But most people, you ask them when they found out about AliExpress, that they were like 18, 19.
You know what it was? It was just MySpace. These times, just a lot of people I used to network with on MySpace, etc. And I used to see them kind of do it, and I just jumped on it, man.
Wow. So you would buy trainers from China
and just send them over, and I was like 15.
And how would you sell it? Did you have a website?
No, in school, just word of mouth.
In school again?
No website.
No website?
Yeah, no website, just going to people in school.
Wow. So now let's move on to college times. How were you then?
College times, it was like, I wanted to play football, etc. So I was trying to chase that dream, etc. And then when I got to 16, 17, I had a reality check.
Okay.
And you need money. You need money. This is not going to pay the bills. I can't be paying to play when I'm 17.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So I thought, should I do this route or should I do this route? And I just said, you know what, I need money. So I got a part-time job, etc. And then football kind of went down the hill because I'm working, etc. And then I just went to college, etc. Studying a business course, etc. And then that just finished.
And then what did you do after? Did you go to university?
Yeah, I went to university.
Okay. How was that?
It was all right. And then got to second year and I just dropped out.
Just dropped out?
I just dropped out.
What made you want to drop out?
It's not for me. I was studying a HR course. And then in my HR course, I got to the end of the year and I was thinking, how much does a HR assistant get paid? How much does a HR manager get paid? And how long is it going to take them to earn that? And I said, you know what? I can't be building someone else's dream and take crumbs. So I said, you know what? I'm not going back. Everyone's looking at me like, what are you doing? You're crazy. I said, bigger risk, bigger rewards. And that's it. I went to uni, second year, etc. And I just said, you know what? I'm not going back.
Wow. That is a bold move, especially someone who I went to university as well. I know, I think after first year, I did okay. I was like, okay, cool. I think I'm going to stay. And I think midway through second year, I had the same feeling that you did. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do it. But the difference is I didn't take the risk like you.
Yeah, man. The bigger risk is not taking one.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, I thought about it. How long, if I want to earn 6 figures a year, how long is it going to take me to earn that at work? I'm gonna have to go this. I don't have 20 years. I've got parents. I've got people to look after. I don't have 20 years. So I said, you know what? I need to move off this and get a job, save up, and try to start my own thing. Because if that doesn't work, etc., I can just get a job, and that's it.
That's true. I feel like you saying that you can always get a job, and I think that's a very important thing for people to remember. Everyone can always get a job, and people say no, you can't. I mean, it might not be the job you want, but you can always get some sort of job, always. So that, knowing that should give everyone that security that if you do want to take the risk, you can, like you.
Bigger risk, bigger rewards.
That is true, and you took the risk. So now, talk to us about where you are now. We're going to delve into that further.
So I'm an Amazon seller.
Yes.
6-figure Amazon seller.
Yep.
And I started with less than £500.
Okay, so Amazon seller. For anyone who's unaware, what does that mean? Because when we think of Amazon, we think Amazon sell our stuff, but now you'll just sell on Amazon. Explain it to us.
So when people buy off Amazon, they're not buying off Amazon. They're buying off someone like me. So when we're Amazon seller, we send our products to Amazon, and when they get an order, they send it for us.
Okay.
So when my mum or my auntie's buying something off Amazon, I'm buying this, they don't even know they're buying it off a third-party seller. So we're basically a shop on Amazon, etc.
Okay.
And you're just selling branded products that already sell. So what you see in Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Waitrose, we are selling on Amazon. And the reason why people purchase on Amazon is because they want it the next day. People want speed, people want convenience, etc. So you might have a wedding tomorrow and all the shops are closed. So, I need my wedding shoes tomorrow. Where am I going? I'm going on Amazon, etc. And that's how people kind of, that's how we're making money.
Okay, so this is Amazon FBA. This is what we know as Amazon FBA. So FBA stands for, and that makes sense. And you are one of the main people behind people like me who go on Amazon and shop.
Yeah, so when you go on Amazon and you're thinking, I'm buying off Amazon, you're not. You're just buying off a third-party seller. You're buying off an 18-year-old me, someone else. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's true. So how did you get into this? Because, I mean, there is more talk about it now, but I'm sure when you started doing this, there wasn't a lot of chatter about it.
I needed to make money while I wasn't there. So when I was at work, I can't be at work and then after work try to make money, etc. I needed to be making money while I was at work, because it's not that I don't want a job or I don't want to work. It's not my dream.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I want time. I didn't want money.
Yeah.
So I needed to start making money while I was at work. So I was looking for different side hustles. I was trying out so many different side hustles, and I needed a side hustle that was passive enough that I could make money while I was there. So when I was at work, etc., making money, I was making money on Amazon. So I was working and I was still getting orders of my Amazon store, etc., etc., etc. And that led me to my escape.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I was at work, I said, how can I make money while I'm not be there? I don't need free jobs. I don't know anyone that has money with free jobs.
That's a valid point. That is a very valid point, because I feel like we watch TV shows or we hear a lot of people who say, I'm going to get more than one job and I'm going to be, well off and I'm going to have so much money. But it's true.
I don't know anyone with more than with money with more than one job. You don't get money with free jobs. You need free streams of income. You need to be in free places at the same time.
That's very true.
You can't swap time for money. You need to swap money for money, and that's what I didn't understand for a long time. I was swapping my time for money. So how am I ever going to make money if I keep swapping my time? You can't buy time, so you can't put yourself there. I needed different streams of income. So when I'm at work, I need to be making money, etc., saving that. So one day in 12 months, I can leave and still be comfortable.
More money, wow. So you started your Fulfilled by Amazon shop with less than £500, you said. So explain that to us, because I'm sure there's many people watching and listening who are thinking, well, I've got that. How do I start mine?
So the first thing I was doing, I was going to places that do clearance. So a clearance place is basically, in 1 year, etc., these things are not selling in this store or in this shop, etc. Because they're not selling in the shop, they need to reduce the price. So some things are 80% off, 90% off, 75% off, etc. So when I'm selling it on Amazon, I'm getting all the sales because nobody could beat my price. Right. So that's how it started. So because I'm the cheapest on Amazon, no one could beat my price because of how low I've got it for. So that's how I started with £500. And then the money just started to be quite a lot. And because I'm not sending it, every time I'm getting an order, Amazon's employees are sending it for me to my customer. Okay. So because I'm the cheapest and they're sending it for me, that's how the business just ramped up.
Okay, so what did you start with? Like, what do you sell?
I sell what I started selling was anything that was a low price that sells consistently. So I needed something that sold consistently, and I started with car shampoo.
Car shampoo?
So when I went on Amazon, I didn't want to sell wants. I needed needs. So what's a necessity, not a want? What could people not live without? Every time there's a car wash that's full up, they need the car shampoo. I don't want wants, I want needs. What does a baby use? What does an adult use? If someone's in a workplace, what cannot make that workplace function correctly? They need sticky notes, they need this, they need this. So don't sell wants, sell needs, sell necessities, sell things that people cannot live without. If you don't sell pet food, the pets die. So they need to eat. And that's how I started to, start to train my mind. So what's a want? Not a need. What's a need, not a want? What can people not live without? What do they not have in Tesco that someone in Cornwall cannot purchase?
Wow.
We think that because everyone's in London, Essex, Manchester, Birmingham, that everything's accessible. Some people live in Derby, some people live in Cornwall, some people live in Sheffield, and they live in small little towns that there's one shop, and if that shop's closed, how can they get the product for the pet, or how can they get this for this, and etc. So when you start thinking like that, that is how money's going to get made.
Did that. Wow. So now have you built it out to the point where you sell pretty much a range of anything as long as it's a need?
And as long as it's kind of a need, a bit more data things, but now I kind of sell kind of a range of different things. I don't stick to one thing, etc. Because when I stuck to one thing, you can get outpriced, there's a lot of competition, etc. So it's good to diversify when you're selling on Amazon.
Wow. Okay. So let's say there are a range of discount stores and outlet stores. So let's use me as an example. Let's say I've gone to one of these discount stores, right? And I found, I don't know, pet shampoo, right? And I found it, and I said, right, this is what I'm starting my shop with. I'm getting this. How do I now buy it in bulk enough? Because I'm at a store that, let's say I've taken what's on the shelf, and that's 15 units. I've asked them to have any more. They give me an extra 20, so I've got 35 units. How do I start my shop with that?
That's how I started, but with that, it's not consistent. Because when you go to stores, when it's on sale, then that means they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it again because it's just there. Mm-hmm. So you can't go to a store. You need to go to a wholesaler. So when you go to wholesalers, etc., they're selling you things in bulk. They're selling you bulk units, a lot of quantities, etc. 1,000 units, 1,200 units. You can't go to Sainsbury's and buy 1,200 units. They only have 50 there. Yeah. So if you wanted to do it, etc., go to a store now. On Amazon, it's quite difficult because now you need invoice, etc. So a receipt is not an invoice. So when you go to a store and Sainsbury's and you buy something and you get a receipt, that's not official from Amazon because anyone could have bought that. You need an invoice with your company name, your name, etc. How many units you bought, so you can say, this is water, it's not lemonade. You've got proof and identification of what it is, etc.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What's the most you've ever made in, like, let's say a week?
I made like £18,000 in a week.
£18,000 in 1 week.
In COVID. In pandemic, yeah.
Wow, what were you selling then? Like masks or something we needed, I'm sure.
No, locks. I was selling locks.
Locks?
Here, locks.
Like for your door?
No, for units. Like, you know what locks are? In London or in Manchester, there's all these different warehouses, and you cannot close a warehouse without a lock.
Yeah.
So every single warehouse needs a lock, and some people lose their keys, etc. So they need to buy a new lock. So that was just really ramping up, just locks.
How did you figure that one out? Sorry, just every time you talk about something, I'm like, how do you know to sell that?
Just research, man. Like when everyone was outside enjoying doing this, I'm just researching because the more you learn, the more you earn. So you need to research what sells. What does your mum sell? What does your mum buy? What does your parents buy? What do people buy around you? If they're gonna buy it, then other people are gonna buy it. What sells consistently? What does someone need every single week that they'll go on the Amazon store and buy?
Okay, amazing. Well, you also mentioned that you were working while she started this up. So where were you working? How did you come to eventually leave that to do this full time?
Before I started working, I said that I'm only going to be working for maybe 4 to 5 years. When I was working, every time I get a job, I end up getting sacked. And it's not I get sacked because I'm not good enough. I'm just not making the sales. So the first time I got a job, they brought me into the office and said, Devon, we love you, but you're not making sales. I said, what do you mean? Yeah, you're just not making enough sales, so we're going to have to call it quits. So after that, I said, if I allow someone to feed me, I allow someone to starve me. So after that, I said...
No, sorry, that's profound. You got to say that one more time. That was very profound.
Yeah, if you allow someone to feed you, you're going to allow someone to starve you. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not that the manager doesn't like you. You don't know what the business turns over. Pandemic 21, the government said you're not allowed to leave your house for 7 months. How can a business function?
Of course.
So if I allow someone to feed me, one day they're going to starve me. So I said, I need to take my own life in my own hands. So I started working there, etc. Then I got another job and I was doing recruitment. And recruitment is very, very difficult. So I'm sending different nurses to different homes, etc. And that's what I started. And I said, you know what, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Because how much is nursery? 1,500. How much is rent? 1,500. So if you're not making a lot of money, you're just going to get swallowed. And that's how life is.
Wow. So then you did that and you started up your Amazon shop alongside
that. So when I was sending nurses to people's homes, etc., doing recruitment, like charging a nurse this, charging a client this, etc., I was building up my Amazon store on the side.
That makes sense. What has been your biggest challenge thus far building up your Amazon shop?
Running a business. People
Okay.
need to understand that running a business is not easy. You need to pay yourself. You need to understand tax. You need to understand VAT. You need to understand customers. You need to understand building a relationship with different clients. You need to understand managing a client's expectations. There's so many different things of running a business. And I used to think, yeah, I sold sweets in school. That's a business. It's definitely not.
It's not at all. It's not. When that reality check hit me, I always thought, yeah, I'm a great entrepreneur. I know what I'm doing. I've been selling since I was like, I think 9 actually is when I started selling my first ever thing. Yeah, so I've been doing it from young. And then when I actually set up a proper business and I had to figure out how to pay myself, and like I said, taxes, and if you want to employ people, what that looks like, that's when you really have that reality check hit you and say, it's not as simple as I thought it was, just selling cookies at school.
If I don't pay this person, she can't pay her rent. If I don't pay this person that's
It's
working
so
for me,
crazy.
she can't pay her bills. And how's that going to make you feel? If I have 5 people and I've said, I'm going to look after you and I'm going to pay you X amount, etc., I've got that on my head now to make sure that she's getting paid because she's got nursery, she's got this, he's got that, he's got that. So I think that's the hardest part, making sure that you have enough for the people that you said you have enough for.
Absolutely.
Because you've asked them to come and work for you and they could have got another job elsewhere. They might have nursery, they might have rent, they might be, do you know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest pressure, ensuring that you have enough cash flow for people. Because if I buy £50,000 of stock, that stock is in, that £50,000 now is in that stock. So if I'm waiting to sell that, etc., and I don't have any cash flow to pay them, etc., you're going to feel bad because they're working for you, etc. They're packing items for me, they're doing this. So
how many people do you employ then at the moment?
2 to 3.
Okay, 2 to 3.
No,
that's
no
a
more than
nice.
that. I could do 30, etc., but yeah, 2 to
So
3.
kind of keep it
in house.
How do you find building up that team? Because that's something I always touch on this episode, on this podcast. Because when I started building up my team, I'm sure you probably feel the same. It's hard to find people who have the same drive and the same passion for what you're building. Like I said, it's never going to be the exact amount of passion that you have for anything, right? Because it's yours. No one's ever going to feel exactly as passionate as you do. But just even finding some like people who are dedicated enough, and thankfully I feel like I've got my team, but even just getting to that point was hard. So how was it for you?
The first thing, no one else is going to work hard for you like you.
Exactly.
Why would they work hard for something that's not theirs?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to them. So building a team was very difficult for me. I started with friends, etc. Then I found someone. It was just basically word of mouth, etc. Because I needed someone that was close to me, etc., that can help and do this. But now I outsource a lot of my shipping, a lot of my packing because you can scale quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. But the people you've got,
They're still there.
You've got those people. Wow.
But they do different jobs for me now, etc. Because in my business, I've got a few different businesses that I currently do. So I'm mentoring, etc. So
oh wow, okay, no, let's just touch on those then. You've got more outside of Amazon FBA. So Amazon FBA is one. Talk to us about what else you've got.
So I've got a mentoring business that I mentor aspiring entrepreneurs, etc. That's one business there. I also teach people how to sell on Amazon. That's a third business there. And in the future, I'll go into a few different businesses. But that's the
core ones.
Yeah, 70-20-10. So I said,
okay.
So you should always spend 70% on your first business. That brings in the most revenue.
Yep.
20% on the second and 10% on the third. So that's the 3 businesses that I'm currently doing. So
amazing.
if when I mentor someone, etc., someone in my team will go back to them and see what was good with it, what did they need help with more, what they're struggling with in their business, or what business they want to start. So if they're not doing something like that, they're doing.
What has been the best thing about your journey so far? Like, what's the thing maybe you're most proud of, or
helping people to make money.
Okay.
For free.
So in terms of like your mentoring, that kind of
not even that. On my Instagram, I gave 100 different ways to make £1,000 in a week. And people have messaged me, said, Devon, I've tried this, I've done this, etc. And that makes me smile the most, because there's some people that message me and say, Devon, you know what? Currently, I'm in London. I'm getting absolutely swallowed. I'm a nurse. I've been working in COVID. Everywhere I'm just seeing people dying, people this, etc. And I don't have enough money to live. I've got nursery that's this price. I've got rent that's this price. I've got so much different bills. I need to make money. I sent her a side hustle that she can do, etc. And she started doing it.
Wow, and it's worked for her.
Yeah, it's worked for her, drop servicing. So that's when you find a client, etc. You find something to do with that client and you just put it together. You can do things like TaskRabbit.
Okay. Wow. That is really, really good.
So that's where I get my thrill from, because when I was like 10 years ago, I was looking for someone like myself to show me different ways that is realistic to make money. And
I think the realistic element is a big one, because I see a lot of people on, especially TikTok, because that platform is booming. I've seen so many creators like, oh, here's a new side hustle you should try. And some of them are like, legit, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Others are like, yeah, nah, I don't know how you're going to do this, but the fact that you're actually giving proper advice.
Giving realistic tips. Like,
Exactly.
I tried, I've tried like maybe 45 different side hustles in my life. Like maybe 45, 46, something like that. Different side hustles. And Amazon FBA I chose because it's the easiest and it's going to pay the most. So different side hustles. I tried painting side hustle. That is when you contact different estate agents and find out how many houses they need painting every single year. So this estate agent might say, we need 60 houses to get painted because we need to rent that house for 6 months to an international client. Then I'll find the painters, etc. And then I'll try to make the in-between. I've tried that one. I've tried drop servicing. I've tried this. I've tried so many different side hustles. Sourcing. There's so many different side hustles I've tried. And Amazon FBA was the easiest one to get through. So if you want a side hustle, etc., you should definitely look at Amazon FBA because like anyone could do it. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be intelligent. You just need to know what sells and why it sells.
Wow. Okay. Right. I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. Let's say, right, I'm coming to you. I'm going to be generous. I've got £500 and I want to start a side hustle. What are 2 or 3 that you'd recommend that I look at?
Okay. The first thing you need to do, you need to go on Facebook today and join 100 different Facebook groups for Amazon FBA, property, etc.
100?
It's for free. Why wouldn't you join 100? So, and then you join 100 Facebook groups and you'll find someone with money. If you don't have money, you don't need money. You need to find someone with money and you need to ask them what they're looking for. So this person might be saying, you know what, I'm looking to buy a house for 250,000. I'm looking to buy a house for 220,000, etc. That costs 300,000. So I'm looking to buy a house below market value. I will pay you £3,000 to find that house for me. Now you need to find someone that can find that house. You don't need to find that house. You need to find someone who can find that house, and then you sell that deal to him. So you don't need money. You need people. So an investor could say, you know, I need a house for 200 grand that is worth £300,000. There's 11 million houses in the UK. I want one. That's what you need to do. You need to find somebody who sources houses and say, you know what, I will pay you X. And you will tell him, I'll pay you Y. And now you sell that deal to him and you make the in-between. So you don't need any money. You just need people.
Wow. Sorry, I'm quiet because you blow my mind.
Yeah, I've got thousands, but I'm just saying that if you don't have money, remember, you don't need money. You need people.
Yeah.
What would you rather, 1 million people or £1 million? Would you rather, 1 million friends or £1 million? I don't need £1 million. I need 1 million friends.
Yeah.
So you don't need money. We need people.
Wow, that's a really good one. Okay, so that's if I didn't have money. Let's say I've got money, got my 500. What would you recommend then?
The first thing that you need to do, you need to go to clearance stores, etc.
Yeah.
You need to find things that sell consistently every single day. So you need to find things like you can go to TK Maxx, you can go to Homebase, etc. I've got so many different side hustles on my Instagram. You need to buy things, etc. And then you can sell them on eBay, Shopify, Amazon has used like new. There's so many different things that you can sell those things on. If they don't sell in 28 days, you bring them back because you have a receipt.
Oh yeah, because you.
So in this side hustle, it's impossible to lose money unless the shop says you can't bring back items that you've purchased.
Yeah.
So you can never lose money.
I watched a video of yours, and it was a video of you going into a store and you picked up an item. I can't remember the item right now, and you scanned it, right? And you kind of showed.
So that's what I do. So when I go to a store, I'll scan a product, etc., and I'll see the consistency. So where it sells, what category, etc. So I know. So if I buy 30 of these and they don't sell in 28 days, I can just bring them back because I've got a receipt. So it's impossible to lose money.
And you scan that using Amazon?
Yeah, scan it using Amazon. Or you can scan it using eBay as well and just go to, or you can just type in a product and just go to sold items on eBay.
And you can kind of gauge.
You can gauge, like, you know, why does this sell? How many times it sell? Why would it sell? What's the pricing? Is someone getting under? So you can kind of gauge. Yeah, but you need before you purchase it from the shop, you just need to see if you're allowed to bring it back. So if you're allowed to bring it back, you buy 50 items. If it doesn't sell in 28 days, you bring it back. And you can never lose money.
That's true. Do you know, I didn't think about the return period thing. Yeah. That makes total sense. It's like, it's pretty much to an extent risk-free, isn't it?
Yeah, the two things in business that you should do is make money and never lose money. And in this one, you're trying to make and you can never lose.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's probably the easiest thing that anyone can do, etc. Well, people don't want to do it because it sounds difficult, but until you try, you'll never know. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so if you're looking for money, you need a side hustle, and if you think that you don't need money, go to Sainsbury's and ask to borrow bread, and that's how important money is.
Yeah, that is very true. And with inflation going up now as well,
7%.
It's at 9% now. It's been announced 9 from last month. Yeah.
So if you didn't get a 10% pay rise, you're getting 9% below pay than last year.
Yeah,
So when
exactly.
when your boss is saying, yeah, we're giving you 5% increase, you're really giving me minus 4% from last year.
Because I mean, that's the thing, right? When it comes to, wages and stuff, people don't realize that when you have the pay increase or salary increase, if it's not at the same rate of inflation, nominally you got a pay rise, right? On paper you got a pay rise, absolutely. But in terms of effectively, you don't have a pay rise because how much your money can actually buy you has reduced. So you have a pay cut, and I think that's really, really important. Yeah, really important. And I found a stat that from Simply Business that says 1 in 3 people in the UK now have a side hustle.
Because you need it. It's not a want, it's a necessity.
It is. It very much so is.
You need a side hustle. If you want to plan for the future, if one day you want to live life on your terms, or if you want to do certain things, then you need a side hustle, because you're going to just join the 40 rule, and that's what's what it is.
If you had your time again, would you go down the same route, or would you change anything?
I would have changed it.
You would change something?
Yeah, I would have never went college. I would have never went uni. I would have found someone who's a millionaire, and I would have worked with them for free, and to find out all their experience, and I would have bought his time. So that's how you buy time. You find someone with 20 years experience that's making millions, etc. You work for him for free, do anything he wants, and then he's going to give you so much value and information. And I would have compressed that, and I would have been way ahead of where I am now, because school was free. I didn't like to pay for education now. But now, since I've been started paying, I pay for mentors, I pay for mentoring, etc. I get mentored myself, and that's why I'm moving at a very, very fast pace. So I definitely would have not went college and found someone to teach me what I know. But I'm not saying do not go to college.
That's not what we're advocating.
College and university is very good, because it's always good to have degrees and etc. But that's what I would have done.
That's what you would have done if you had the time again. Okay. And last one, what would be some piece of advice that you give to anyone who's watching, listening, and they want to get started with either Amazon FBA or just side hustles in general?
A pizza is sold in a square box. A iPhone has no buttons on it. And the most paid influencer in the world now doesn't talk. He uses his hands. So your dream might seem strange to people, but after a while, they'll understand your thought process. So if they don't believe in it, it doesn't matter, because it's not their dream, it's yours. So don't give up.
Wow. Sorry, when you started off saying a pizza is sold in a square box, I was thinking, where are you going with this one? But it makes total sense.
Pizza sold in a square box, one of the most paid influencers, he doesn't even talk. No one's heard his voice. Our iPhone has no buttons, and people saying it's normal now. And people say that when they started that you're crazy, but you're not crazy. It's crazy to them. Like I was one of the first persons who thought of Uber when I was 13. What would happen if McDonald's does takeaway? Guess what? I didn't take action. I thought of delivery first. Guess what? No action. I thought of going to dry cleaners, etc., going to people's houses and dry cleaning their stuff. Guess what? I didn't take action. I was just a entrepreneur. I just had ideas. And guess what? Somebody thought of it. So if you got a good idea and you don't want to do it, somebody is going to come with that idea and they're going to make money for it. So if you don't know what to do, find someone who can help you and try to go for it. Because I didn't go for it. And now look, it's $1 billion business. What if I found someone and sold that idea? I could have made money from it. Wow,
you have given gems in this episode. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honestly, this has been amazing. Everyone watching and listening, thank you for listening. We're back again next week. Do you want to just do your final sign off?
Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Devon _entrepreneur, and hopefully I'll be back, man.
You will do. Thank you so much, guys.